We've had Black Wall Streets, right? When we still had Jim Crow and segregation, we kind of flourished economically, right? Because we had to make our own. We had to be our own systems of support.
Be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am.
On a Black consciousness level, it's got a deeper meaning. On a spiritual level, our freedom is going to come through politics, economics, and self-defense.
One of the lies that we tell ourselves is that we are making progress. We tend to equate progress with concessions. We can no longer make that mistake. See, it's no in between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship. But a lot of you running around talking about you Democrats, and the Democrats got you in the biggest trick going. When black people become serious about the revolutionary struggle that they are caught up in, whether they recognize it or not, when they begin to go down and knock off people who are oppressing them, that's when the revolutionary struggle unfolds. Not until.
Welcome to the Power to the Panthers podcast, where we're here to educate, regulate, and demonstrate. Educate the youth, regulate the truth, and demonstrate the proof. And today, family, I got a special guest with me. I got my brother Dre. And my brother Dre, we go back a couple years now, the Louisville Revolutionary Black Panther Party. Him and his comrades out there brought me and my father out, honored my father because of my father's background of being a Black Panther in New York City. So me and my brother been rocking since then. My brother as well as a musician. So he just does a little bit of everything. And he also told me that he's looking for some future plans and getting into some political. So definitely what the Black Panther Party represented, Huey and Bobby, and what they dedicated their life to, you know, creating the young black generation to want to be into politics, to want to take over, utilizing the concept of the Black Panther as the symbol for the Party for Black People's Revolution. So my brother, how's everything going? Get a breakdown for the people, just a little introduction for yourself.
Man, peace and love, revolutionary love and light, man. Dre Dawson,
Yeah.
on the mic, they call me Dre DaSon. In the city, they call me Captain. As far as being the Minister of Defense and the Minister of Information for the Revolutionary Black Panther Party here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm also currently the president, and so I've been doing this revolutionary work for a long time. It don't seem long, seems short, but you know, when you're in the trenches, you know, 1 minute seems like 10 sometimes. So I started, I can't even tell you. I mean, I was reading Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X at 10 years old. So, you know, I've been educating myself and I love education. That's why I love your father, man. Love you. Love increasing that
Appreciate
education and
you,
then
brother.
putting that stuff to work. You know what I mean? Not just reading books, but actually actualizing, you know what I'm saying, the work of our ancestors to move it forward and progress the community. So that's what I do now. I also I work in our city's metro council, which is like your councilman or your alderman. In some cities, they got different names, but we work close along with the mayor. We're the legislative branch of local city government. Your mayor's the executive branch, then you got your judicial. So we're at the highest of the legislative branch here. And I do that. I like doing that because we get to affect policy. You know what I mean? Because if you know anything about European culture, they like to pencil whip you. So, you know, we try to fight back with the pen. And not only do I do that through policy, but I like to do that through art, using my words, man. So I appreciate you having me on here, man, and talking about this revolutionary program, this plan to keep our people on track, man.
Yes, sir, no doubt. And then also when me and my father was out there, you was also training up some of the younger Panther Cubs with the martial arts.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm also a martial arts instructor. I hold rank in Shotokan, karate, Tai Chi is my main art, my base art. I also hold rank in Wing Chun and some Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
what started your journey on becoming a revolutionary Black Panther Party member?
I've been enamored with education since a young kid, so I've always soaked up everything, right? And then consciousness is like, um, consciousness is like, an apple. Once you take a bite, you don't want to go back. You know what I mean? So I was I was always smart and like talented and gifted in advanced programming coming up through school. And so that made me at that time like one of maybe two black people in my class, right? So coming up K through 12, I'm usually the only or one of two or three black people in my class, or probably four or five in my whole grade, right? And so, but my mom believes in education as well. So, she used to always give me books. My older cousin, he was in love with Malcolm X, and so that kind of turned me on to Malcolm X. I fell in love Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I fell in love with them because I'm a warrior at heart. So people fighting for something that they believe in has always been appealing to me as well. And so when I got to college, first I went to Howard University, which is predominantly black, or is a HBCU. Um, and I found it funny that I chose the HBCU over going to Yale like I wanted to, because I wanted to learn more about my blackness, right? I had a lot of even though my mom gave me a lot of books, she's very spiritual, right? I grew up in the church, and so, my spiritual journey was its own thing. But at that time, I was like, I need to know about, you know, I need to know more about my culture, where I come from, which I hadn't been, you know, formally educated in, right? You get culture from the people around you, your niggas, and you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get black culture, but to actually formally know where you come from, right? Being educated in that. I was hungry for that. And so during college, when I was at Howard, it was more the same that I had in high school, this Eurocentric perspective on education and history and this and that. And I had known enough, about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King to know that y'all ain't telling me everything. So I switched. I came back home. I enrolled at the University of Louisville, which uh, at the time's Pan-African Studies program was like the best in the nation. And I didn't even know that before I left here and went to Howard, right? And so I find that out when I come back. And ever since then, it's just been, I majored in Pan African Studies. I also majored in political science, and I minored in communications and philosophy. And ever since my first Pan African Studies class and learning about the Black diaspora and our culture around the world, I just, man, I found something even more to fight for, because now you understand the fight. You got a lot of people that say, "Oh, black people doing well," or this and that, and we had a black president. We can't still be under oppression and mental slavery, and you know what I mean. So all of that, once I got rolling in my Pan African studies, was just like, oh, there's my fight. People used to ask me, what you majoring in Pan African Studies for? What you gonna do with that? Thinking about the monetary or financial gain that I would get with that, with my degree. And I used to always just say, I'm gonna save the world. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. So I got to be educated. I got to know everything, that there is to know to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So I've been in it since I was a baby, but I didn't start going full speed till, I was in college, and ever since then it's been everything that I do, still has an Afrocentric perspective, still has the black perspective in it, right? Because that's the first perspective. Even martial arts that I teach, right? We call it Shotokan karate, Tai Chi. All of these arts came out of Africa, and that's what I teach my students, right? These are the things that we gave the world that they don't want you to know. But these are our things. And These are cultures, everybody enamored with Japanese culture and Asian culture. Those are our cultures. Those are our cultures that, our cousins created. You know what I mean? So just being
Facts.
able to do all of that, yeah, that it just keeps me in the work, and I've been doing it since a youngin', bruh.
Let's talk about your music for a moment. So, I've listened to your music, I've posted it up, people see it, and I just got a question from your perspective. How can your music innovate black consciousness?
My music is a amplifier of the inner me. And so, a piece of the inner me is about knowing my identity, my culture, where I come from, being proud of that, right? Not putting anybody else's down, but being proud of me and my own. And so, though I don't think anybody would call me a conscious rapper, I consciously put things into my message that lets you know that this is Black Power. You know what I mean? This is Black Power. This is revolutionary power. And honestly, it would. I feel like my music would empower anybody in a revolutionary mindset, in a mindset that wants to go get it, go, be creative, be the best you. That's really what my music represents: being the best you possible, being the best version of you, and loving that, loving the flaws, loving the pros, loving the cons, loving it all, right? And still striving to be better, right? Because there is no I'm okay, I'm straight, right? There's always another level to reach. And so I think that that's how it pushes people, right? Because I'm, I've, I've said, I say Black Power, and some stuff I've done. I say, but I don't really like preach Huey, preach, I'll throw these lines in there, but you listen to it, I do a lot of, it's like my martial arts, right? I got 6 different martial arts under my belt, but if we ever squared up, you wouldn't see me in a big old karate stance or some shit. Like, I'm gonna just put my hands up like anybody else, right? And so, but what comes from them hands is gonna be 6 different arts in that way. And my music approaches my audience a lot like that in the same way. Like, I pull your guard down, and then once you start realizing it, it's like, oh shit, no, this is impact, this is, complex, this is heavy, you know what I mean? I just thought I was just fighting another dude. He just put his hands up, but nah, he started breaking fingers and poking eyes and
Yeah,
you know
expect
what
the
I mean?
unexpected.
My music, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And so, and that's what's dope about my music too, because I'm very in love with triple and quadruple entendres. You know what I mean? You could hear one line and just think that, oh, he was just talking about this, and really, like, it's got a deeper meaning on a Black consciousness level. It's got a deeper meaning on a spiritual level. It's got a deeper meaning, and so it's whatever that you are hitting at that point in time that you'll feel, that you'll you know relate to. And so, the more you listen and the more you can relate, the more you'll hear, Black Power and consciousness and economic freedom, and, you know what I'm saying, taking care of our communities and our kids and all of that in there.
Nah, yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And another thing that I wanted to add to what you were saying, I forgot to actually say in the introduction, is that, when I first started listening to your music, I said to myself, because we're used to, hearing trap artists like Jeezy, T.I., Gucci Mane. And when you hear like the trap sound with the instrumentals, and that's what gravitates people. Because like coming up, when my father would wonder like why I liked some of the music, I say it's because of the beats. A lot of times you might
Mhm.
like the beat more than you like the lyrics. The lyrics, might be okay, they sound good, catchy, but it's really the beats. And I think that trap sound is what really has captivated, the audience, the younger people. And I believe that, listening to your music gives that trap sound with the beats, the energy that you're coming with. But then it's also, when you're talking about the ops, you ain't talking about other black people. You talking about the actual ops
Yeah,
that are actually oppressing us, and I believe that. And I
yeah,
said, once artists started rapping, trap and doing everything that we like to hear in the music, but then they talking about the actual enemies, the actual oppressors, the people that are actually doing the harm, not the people that are in the struggle with you, that people tend to
nah,
usually do. I said once that happens and that tone gets set, because if you like the beats, if you like all that, being, the gangster image, what happens when the gangsters are revolutionaries? What happens when the rappers are revolutionary gangster rapping? You know what I mean? Because
exactly,
what they
exactly.
at first, I believe that when NWA came out, NWA was kind of like borderline. They were street, but they also had that street level consciousness to them. And then the music executive was like, nah, if they're able to start speaking for the streets and they link up with other, black scholars, and I believe that's exactly what you're doing,
Yep.
and keep doing that. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of other artists that see the lucrativeness. Once they see what it is and they see the lucrativeness, then they might still rap with the trap beats, rap from a certain perspective, but then it might be like, nah, wait, let me team up with my brother so we can eliminate the real enemy, because we just going at each other, the white man making hella
Right,
money, on the record
right,
labels, so it definitely
right.
is a breath of fresh air when you can see the same stuff that people like. That's why I always say there got to be a balance. The image of what these rappers are presenting to us, to what a sports player represents to us, if the conscious black person, man and woman, can do that and exemplify those characteristics that we like so much from entertainers and rappers and singers, and if we could do that in a revolutionary spirit, man, everything would be unstoppable. That'd be true edutainment, combining
Yeah,
entertainment and education.
exactly, exactly. And I feel the same way. That's how I approach my music, bro. You hit it the nail on the head with that.
Politically, can a Black Panther style viewpoint change what is going on in America?
So when I was coming up in school, uh, in Pan African Studies, right? And somebody asked me, what's your major, Pan African Studies? What does that do? I used to always say, I would never say like it's the study of Black people. I was always used to say that it's the study of the world from the oppressed man's point of view, right? Because when we're in these formal westernized education systems, that's that man's point of view. That's not the person who lost the fight's point of view, right? They say whoever wins the war writes history. So um, I say that to say that um, and well, let me add to that. So the oppressed point of view, especially in a westernized system, is the who's the most demonized person? It's the Black man, right? And it's the Black culture. And at the end of the day, and so um, when you add this piece to politics, right? The oppressed man's point of view, his point of view, right? Because there's a lot of laws and policy being making from the oppressor's point of view, right? Even the ones that seem like they're good, or like civil rights and equal opportunity, and that's from his point of view, right? That to him, that's a privilege for you people who I need to write this for, because you're begging me, you're rioting, you're doing all of this. But do you internally feel that every person should be equal, that we're all children of the human race, and that we should all have basic access and basic care and support and consideration for each other, no matter your culture, your skin color, or you know what I mean? And so I definitely think that uh, the oppressed point of view, or the Black point of view, needs to be added into politics. It could definitely change politics. And that's for everybody, because when the bottom comes up, everybody else comes up, right? If I pull the Black man up, and the poor whites get pulled up, the minorities and the Latinos get pulled up there. Everybody else gets pulled up because now we're understanding the world from the point of view that everybody needs to be okay and not just the people up top.
Most definitely,
Okay.
most definitely.
You
So,
know,
so, so from your perspective, getting into politics, what do you think would best fit Black people to get into as it relates to politics?
what you mean? What?
Well,
How do you mean that?
well, from the perspective, like what you're doing down in the mayor's office, or like, would it be in law from that perspective, understanding the law?
Oh, we gotta hit everything, man.
Okay.
It's a giant, man, and that's our problem where everybody wants to, um, try to attack the giant and take it on fully, and only through one way. But it's just like, no, this is a giant, bro. You get a leg, you get a toe, you get an arm. I'm gonna grab the head. You know what I mean? And these are all different professionalisms. These are all different institutions because we do have institutional racism. And so you have to approach it and you have to fight it from every single angle. I think our biggest problem is, there was a time where we weren't in these institutions. There was a time when they wouldn't let us in, they wouldn't let us make rules, they wouldn't let us vote, they wouldn't let us do all these things. But now we're in, right? It's not that we're not in the institution, it's that the mindset isn't coming with some of these people who have our same skin color, or you know what I mean, or don't, because I've seen some radical white people. I've seen some John Browns in present day. You know what I mean, doing some things, and I work with some of them, right? But again, their mindset is from the oppressed point of view. So oh yeah, black people, like, why y'all, like, so they're very invested in, and that's what we need. We need people who are invested in the ideology, invested in the point of view, because then that's how you become better for your people, right? There's no point in me being uh, a black attorney, and this a black man tells me he gets racially profiled, stopped by the cops, and all of this and that. Now you got this court case, and my thought is, well, you should have did what the cop said, right? That's not even acknowledging your blackness, bro. Like, you're a brother, knowing that you've been stopped by the police too, as a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Driving in your Benz, but you're so far removed from that point of view, and these are the people that we have in these institutions, and that's why the black agenda can't ever get pushed forward, right? Because they don't have the black ideology, right? They may be black, they may be minority, but they don't have the black ideology, like the council people in California, one of those cities in California. I can't think of which one it was, but they just got pulled up on ethics charges because they was talking about another black councilman and calling them jigaboo. And these are white and Latino. You see what I'm saying? Doing all of this, and so it's not that we're not in the institutions. Now the fight is, we don't have coordination. We don't have the people who are who do have the ideology. They're not coordinating. The black attorneys aren't coordinating with the black politicians and the black entertainers and the black community leaders in the city. Right? We're not all having a monthly dinner where we just talk about any and everything and progress and plans and moving people forward. We're not doing that. We're so disunited, and we're trying to fight from our point of view, like, oh, I'm a black attorney and I'm gonna take care of all my clients, but I'm giving special interest to black people. Cool, great. You're the one that we need at the table with the black politician. You're the one we need at the table with the black nonprofit that's helping incarceration, right? You're the one that needs to be at the table. But if you're only just trying to focus on your piece, which you should be a master at your piece, but pretty soon you have to move with the rest of the body. That's like the finger trying to fight and the rest of the body trying to stay still. Or I'm just trying to use, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to use
Yep.
my fist to fight you, but I ain't moving my feet. I ain't dodging. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that doesn't
everything
even make
works.
sense.
Yeah,
Everything
everything
works
works
together,
together.
bro.
Yep, yep, definitely. That unitedness, that coming together, and then and then they know that that's why this whole divide and conquer thing has been such a thing for
Yep.
so long, because they know the second we come together, and when they see spurts of it, that's when they really get scared. Like with the Black Panthers, that when they
Oh
have to
yeah.
infiltrate through all of the stuff, when they saw the spurts, when they saw the Malcolm X's and Martin Luther King's, when they saw Martin, get a different ideology when they assassinated Malcolm, and he started seeing things from a different perspective. He started demanding reparations. He started speaking more militant. It was like, oh no. So we've seen spurts of what happens. We just, like you're saying, have to come together and be united and stay united, because we could come together for certain things, but we got to come together for the right revolutionary
Right.
things. Same way we
Right.
put the same energy coming together for sporting events, same way we put energy coming together for cookouts and barbecues, we got to put that same energy into the revolution. And far too long we've been being distracted. So, like I said,
I
with the
always say this, bro. I always say this. Like when we've had, you know, we've had a political era in this country for Black progress, right? We had the golden era of politics coming right off of the Civil War during Reconstruction. We had the most Black politicians we ever had. We had an economic era. We've had Black Wall Streets, right? When we still had Jim Crow and segregation, we kind of flourished economically, right? Because we had to make our own. We had to be our own systems of support and resource. And we've had self-defense, right? We've had an era of self-defense, and with the Black Panthers, right, coming in saying we're going to defend everything that is ours by any means necessary, off the back thought of Malcolm X, right, our big unk. And so what we haven't had is all three of those eras together. And that's one thing that I always say is like when our freedom is going to come through politics, economics, and freedom and self-defense, right? Those are how we get to freedom: politics, economics, and self-defense, right? When we go hard on all three of those together, then we're making something that can attack this giant in a beneficial and very, very valid way, because that's how he holds on to power: through politics, through economics, and through defense, through the military. You see what I'm saying? That's how he holds on to power. And so when we only had one, we were doing very well. What did he do with the political era? They rewrote policy. They fought us with federal politics. What did they do when we had economic freedom? They used the military. They used violence. They used defense to come in and rape all of our cities that had Black Wall Streets and was flourishing countries, and lynch. And that's all they did. What did we do when we had the Panthers, when we were promoting self-defense? They killed them. They used more defense. They used the federal military, right? And so what we didn't have was the support in each one of those, right? With politics, you need economic support and you need defense. With economic ability, you need politics. You need to be able to write policy to be able to keep your stuff, right? Because they can take it at any time that they want to under their system. And you need defense to be able to defend it when they come and try to take it by force, which is what they did a lot in Black Wall Street, right? I can't take your land, but what they did was they would take all their records out of the county clerk's office and then burn the county clerk's office with all the land, the deeds and titles to everything. So now you can't even say that you own what you own because you don't have no proof. And all of a sudden the government doesn't either. So now we're going to redistribute this land. And of course, who gets it? Not us, right? Because that was the whole plot. Again, with the Black Panthers, when they came in and took them out by force, it was to stop the education that they were given. It was the politics and education that was really killing them with the Black Panthers. They didn't give a fuck about no guns. We got more guns. But what you're not gonna do is unite the Latinos, unite the Asians with you to move on this political power, right? Fred Hampton. That's what you're not gonna do. Huey and Bobby, what you're not going to do is unite the nation under this black ideology. That's the problem, right? Even when you read the letters in COINTELPRO, it was never about the money. It was never about the guns. It was always about the ideology and being able to spread that to everybody else. Because, and it's not even about black, it's about the oppressed, right? Y'all are supposed to be at the bottom, uneducated, poor, unresourced. You're not supposed to be asking these questions, right? They didn't really give a F about Martin Luther King until he started talking about poverty. When he was talking about black politics and this and that, it was all right, whatever. As soon as he started talking about poverty and engaged the lower class whites, we got to take you out, because now you're spreading your ideology, and that's what we can't have.
Yep. Fear of a black planet.
So it's out.
Fear of a black planet. Facts.
What Nas say? Hate what you don't understand, fear what you can't conquer. That's the theory of man.
Yep, and we seeing that. We see that every day, man. You turn on the TV and watch the news. You know it's guaranteed you're gonna see something along those lines, my brother. I do thank you for your time, my brother. This was definitely another wonderful episode of Power to the Panthers podcast, where we got my brother who is currently active in the revolutionary Black Panther movement. So, my brother, once again, I appreciate you. Is there anything else that you would like to let the family know? Is there any way people can get in contact? Instagram, any websites, anything of that nature?
Yeah, you can always follow our Panthers and our work here on Facebook, the Revolutionary Black Panther Corporation. You can always follow my music as Dre DaSon music. That's DreDason music. All one word on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, Spotify, everywhere. Follow that. Yeah, please tune in, enjoy. Oh, the martial arts, dojo life, everywhere. That's one word, DOJOLIFE. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can follow the martial arts and how we train the kids on being the next generation of warriors. And please always reach out. I love to collaborate. Like we said, we need this unity to be able to make power. There is no I in team, but there is we in power. So with that being said, man, peace and love. I appreciate your time today, bruh. I appreciate you inviting me to this beautiful platform, and hope we can do it again.
Yes, sir. No doubt. And family, this has been another wonderful episode. Brother Dre DaSon, go check out his music, support the Revolutionary Black Panther Party in Louisville, and trust my brother, we gonna be back there. So family, like we always do at this time, Huey, take us away.
About what Huey Newton says right now. Jimmy the Greek also said if blacks are given the opportunity in management in other areas, they will probably be superior there too. And so I can't see where anyone would find fault with him other than the majority group who are afraid of blacks because of our superiority.
Thanks for watching. This episode of Power to the Panthers podcast has been brought to you by Panther Prince Productions.